please. Thank you. Good morning. We've we've changed angles today just because of what we're doing, and we're also going to change the format of what we're doing today just because we're doing quite a technical thing today. And I am just going to fess up now by saying that I am not the expert at all at portraits. In fact, I've been dreading this for a long time. I'm not good at portraits, but we're going to try our best. And Alex has got a face on because he doesn't want to do it this morning because he was so dissatisfied with his guideline ones last week that it's now totally put him off. So fingers crossed I can convert him today to realise it's not going to be that bad. So good morning if you're watching. Hello everybody. Hello to my Dumbarnie posse. Hello to Abernethy crew. Hello to anyone else that's joining us from a different school. It's lovely of you to join us and thank you so much. Just remember what I just said there. I am not the expert at portraits. If I was a great portrait artist, I would not be here right now. Let's just remember that bit. It's probably my least favourite lesson to do in class, just because I'm quite tricky. I find it quite tricky myself. So I'm going to pass on what I know, and fingers crossed that maybe helps you a little bit. I think the thing to remember with doing self-portraits is it's very, very hard to get a likeness. So you shouldn't, you know, even the experts struggle with this. And if you were to draw yourself 20 times, every single time you draw yourself, it will never ever look the same. So don't be expecting a photograph to jump out at you from the screen. That will not happen today. It's more about getting the anatomy right, about getting your proportions right, and it's about me giving you a few wee tips on things that I see when I look around the classrooms to try and avoid doing those mistakes to help you get a little bit better at portraits. So by the end of this, you will not have a perfect portrait. Nobody will, unless you're Alison Robertson. Who knows watching. But hopefully by listening to all the tips, what you were doing before might be improved. Okay? So we're going to be talking a lot about proportion, a lot about measuring, and a lot about positioning. Okay, hello Sam, it's nice to see you. Nice to see you again. Right, today, the first thing I want you to do is have a look. I hope you've all got a mirror in front of you right now. What I want you to do first of all is I just want you to have your mirror so you can see the face fully. So I might need to move it about a bit. And I want you to try and just for 2 minutes look properly at your face. So I want you to look at the shape of your face. I want you to look at the position of your features. I want you to fix your hair if it's not quite sitting right. I want you to fix your glasses if they're a little bit squint. And I want you to look at all the high and the low points on your face. So what bits come out from your face? What bits sink in? Do you see any shading there? No, it's not going to be an easy one, Granny. It's going to be really, really tricky today. I hope you've got your paper and your pencil ready. Okay, so have a good look in that mirror. We all think we know what we look like. And some of us spend a lot of time looking in the mirror. Some of us don't spend very much time at all looking in the mirror. So we all think we know what we look like. But you know yourself that if you see a photograph of yourself or a film of yourself, you always think, wow, do I look like that? So have a really, really good look in this mirror right now. Have a look. Do you have any freckles? Do you have any birthmarks? Is there anything in your face that you would like to get into your face today? Also think about where you're sitting right now. Are you sitting up nice and tall in your seat? Have you got good light? Are you sitting at a funny angle? Straighten yourself up. Right, now you've had a good look in those mirrors and I've given you a wee lecture. Hi Macy, it's nice to see you again. What I now want you to do is think about the materials that you're going to use today. Now, I'm going to use charcoal pencil just because I love using charcoal pencils. You probably don't have charcoal pencils at home. So I'm assuming most of you are just using a pencil. Some of you might be being super brave today and going straight in with a pen or an oil pastel, but I'm assuming most of you are using a pencil. So the first thing I want you to do is on the back of your paper, I just want you to have a play with making some marks. So first of all, what I want you to do is look at the way that you're holding your pencil. Often I see, when I'm teaching, children drawing like this. So they have their pencil way down at the bottom of their fingers. Now that pencil grip is normally what you use for doing your handwriting. I want you to not do that when you're sketching. And you'll notice I'll use the word sketching there, not drawing. We're sketching today. So I want you to try and hold your pencil halfway up in quite a loose way on its side, on an angle. And I want you just to have a wee practice at making some lines for me. So I want you to try and draw some straight lines. I want you to try and draw some curved lines with that pencil. I want you to try and draw some possibly wiggly lines. And I also want you to try and draw some shapes. So circle, an oval, maybe a square. You won't really probably see squares in your face, but you never know. Okay, so I want you to have a wee practice just at using your pencil. So try and loosen up your wrist. Try and draw from the shoulder, not all tight, not like this, not just using your wrist. Try and use your whole arm. Okay, so I want you to have a wee practice of that first of all for me. So Alex, choose a pencil that you would like to use, maybe a middle range one, like a B or a 2B, if you can find one, or just anything really. And I want you to have a wee practice at sketching that. Now, what I also want you to stop doing, if you are bad at doing this, is to draw hard. So I want you to practice how hard your pencil can go. So I want you to see how hard you can make it go and how soft you can make it go. And I want you to find a midway point. So you've got a hard line, you've got a soft line, you've got a middle line. Okay, mid lines are what we're going for here. Light lines will be great for your guidelines. The hard line, that's your finishing touches. Because often when I see kids drawing, they press really hard at the beginning, realise they've made a mistake, try and rub it out, and they can't get rid of it. It turns out to be a big black smudgy mess on the page, or sometimes they even dent the paper. If they're using an HB pencil or a hard pencil, they dent the paper because they've pressed so hard. So I want you to practice, this is just practice just now, so you don't need to rub things out because it's on the back of your paper. I want you to practice just doing as light as your pencil can go and dark as your pencil can go. Then find the midway point. Okay, so ideally you want your sketch to be in that midway point. You're not denting the paper, you're practicing straight lines, wavy lines, bendy lines. So Alex is just going with his pencil. That's what we want to avoid today, okay? At the beginning, later on you can add as much tone and shade as you want and press your pencil really hard, but not at the beginning. Right, so we've looked in the mirror, we've practiced holding our pencil loosely, using the whole shoulder. Louis watching you. Louis taking part, okay? Louis, Alex really didn't want to take part today, but I've twisted his arm. So using your shoulder, holding your pencil halfway, and really being quite loose with it. Right, so I hope you've practiced some shapes now. And probably what you've noticed when you've been practicing your shapes is you might have done this to try and get an oval. Now, I've been to art school, believe it or not, and I've been a teacher for a long time now. I've done a lot of ovals in my life. I cannot get an oval right if I just do this. It's impossible. So if you are trying to draw your face today, I don't want a circle, I want it to roll. If you're trying to draw your portrait today and you do it like that, don't expect that to work, okay? What you have to start getting into the habit of doing is drawing lots of light lines that overlap. Or you might even perfect the back and forth technique. That's when you keep drawing back and forth. You never really lift your pencil from the page and you do lots of little lines. Okay, so if I just show you that one there, the big difference between those. Okay, so try and get into the habit of stopping, expecting miracles to happen, and then getting frustrated and rubbing it out and starting again and tearing up the paper. That's the worst thing that I've ever seen. Okay, you will never get an oval right just by going like that. It's not going to happen. Okay, what you have to start doing is just drawing lots of little lines, taking your time, really looking at the direction that they're going in. If they start to go a bit squint, change them. For example, that went in the wrong direction there, so I changed the direction of it. But thankfully, because I'm not pressing hard with my pencil, I can rub that out if I want, because I drew quite lightly. Okay, so we've had a wee play about on the back of our paper, we've experimented with lines, we've experimented with shapes, we're thinking about the way we're holding our pencil, we're looking constantly in that mirror, today when you're doing your portrait, if your head is down drawing for 5 seconds, I want you to stop, I want you to look back in that mirror. Okay, you should not be sitting like this for the whole session. You should actually be looking in the mirror for longer than you are drawing. I would say 5 seconds drawing, 5 seconds looking, constantly correcting, because that's also a thing that I never see in the classroom. I give everyone a mirror, the mirror ends up sitting on the table, nobody even picks it up. Okay, so keep looking in that mirror that's in front of you, keep analysing what you're doing. If it's wrong, rub it out. Thankfully, you're using a light line to begin with, so it should rub out quite easily. Okay, right, let's get started. So this is on the back of my page, just my wee experiment. So on the front of the page, what I want you to do first of all as well is have a look at the size of the paper you're working on. You'd be amazed, we're drawing a portrait. Okay, now paper can be in 2 directions. It can be landscape and it can be portrait. You would be amazed the amount of times that I've tried to draw portraits with people and they've had their paper landscape. Now that's great, but you'll have a lot of space at either side. Now it might be that that's the plan. The plan is that you're planning on having something else on the side or in the background. I've seen some beautiful photographs that just have the face down here and then a big expanse of space at the other side. That's fine. But if we are focusing on the portrait today, I would like to have your paper portrait. Okay, you're trying to fill the page. Now, another thing I want you to do is look at the size of the page. Now, often when I am drawing portraits, I might see something like this happening. Something the size of a postage stamp. And you think, why? I've given you a massive sheet of paper. You know, that's my gift to you.
I'd rather do it.
Why would you draw it so small? Right, you would rather do it like that.
Yeah.
Why?
Because then you don't have to draw as much.
Because you don't have to draw as much. There
Yeah,
you go. Because you think you'll be done quickly. Actually, you still have to draw as much because you still have to draw everything. It's just that you have to draw it smaller. And it might not take as long, but chances are it's really not going to be as easy or as good. Because if you are trying to draw really small, it's so hard to get all your detail in. So try and keep your drawing nice and big. So what I suggest that you do is put in a couple of guidelines, just the little dots. So I'm going to go for 2 finger widths, all around my page. Okay?
Wow.
And that are my guidelines. I don't know if you can see them very well. That's where I would like you to try and keep your portrait. So it doesn't go over those guidelines, it doesn't go inside those guidelines. Try and fill that page. And that way we try and get as big a portrait as possible. I would rather, as your teacher, see you go off the page than see you have lots of wasted space. So it might be that the portrait becomes too big and you can't fit in all your hair or the amazing cap that you're wearing today. That's fine, as long as your face is there. Okay, so pop some guidelines in for me first. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to try and draw the shape of our face. So I'm going to ask you just to look in the mirror for a wee second and look at the shape of your face. What shape is your face, Alex?
An oval.
An oval.
Sucks, 'cause I hate
Shushed.
oval.
That's right, it is an oval. Now often when I'm doing portraits in class, what I find the kids do is they draw an oval, but it's often not the right shape of oval. Also, some of them, most of them, say 50% of them, draw them quite circular. So if you just look, and we're going to do a lot of measuring with our fingers today. I want you to look in the mirror and I want you to measure your chin just by putting your thumb and your finger to the bottom of the chin. Okay? This is just a wee experiment.
Oh, that way.
Lots of you probably didn't realise that maths is involved so much in art and design. So we're measuring our chin. Then what I want you to do is try and see how many of those widths, just by taking your hand away, don't make it go smaller or bigger. Just take it away like that, like it's a vice. I want you to see how many times you can fit that into your head. Okay, so I can fit mine in 1, 2, 3. Same. So that proves to me that my chin is much narrower than my head. Okay, so when it comes to drawing your oval, your head should be much, much wider, 3 times wider than the actual chin at the bottom. Okay, so try and get that shape right when it comes to drawing the head. Now, what we're going to do first of all is we're going to do our head in 2 parts. We need to get an oval shape, but often if I ask people to do an oval, they find that quite daunting, quite stressful. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to draw with a medium line or a light line, ideally somewhere in between those two lines. You're just going to draw a circle. Now it shouldn't fill the whole page. It should actually go between the top mark, the left mark, the right mark. So you're almost filling halfway between the middle and the bottom and the top. So if you all at home just now, just watch what I do. So Alex, just watch what I do first, and then I want you to go and do it. So today's format will be totally different. I'm going to draw something, show you it on screen, give you a few seconds to do it, and I'll be watching Alex, so I'll know when I've given you enough time. So this is step one. Step one is just to draw a circle. So it's started at the top where I put my mark. It's gone as wide as the 2 points, but it's not gone right down to the bottom. It's gone about halfway in between there. Okay, so I'm going to get you to that first. Not expecting to do it by going, remember, lots of little lines. Like if you look at that up close, there's a big massive mistake there for a start. It doesn't matter, it's going to rub out. We've got all those lines at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 lines. But we can rub them out and we can perfect it. These are guidelines. These will all rub out after you've put your features on, so please don't have them too heavy because they will never rub out and you'll never get rid of them. We're going to get rid of these. So keep your penciling nice and light. I'll make mine a little bit darker so you can see at home. So don't make them as dark as mine, make them lighter than mine. Only you should be able to see your guidelines. Okay. Remember to try and use your shoulder. Really relax the way you're doing it. If you're struggling with it, practice that curved line on the back. It's almost like you're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Try and keep your hands up when you're sketching. Sometimes we put our hand down and we rub on top of it. We make a bit of a mess. If you're terrible at that, get a bit of paper, put it on top, and it'll stop everything smudging. So if you are bad at your posture, if your posture's bad and you find it hard to stand up, and remember we're sitting down right now, we shouldn't be sitting down to draw, we should all be standing up. But if your posture is terrible when you're sitting down, put a bit of paper underneath your wrist. That'll stop it all smudging. But try and keep your hand up.
Oh, okay. Wait, so let's make a circle.
Yeah, you're making a circle first. So you're just making like a circle there.
It's going to be an oval.
Well, that's because you've made it too pointed at the top. So just don't rub it all out yet. Just keep going over the mistakes. Okay, don't rub it all out yet. You can cover up. He keeps rubbing out all his mistakes, but actually you're going to cover up a lot of your mistakes with hair and other things. So please don't keep rubbing out mistakes. Mistakes are good. You want them to be there. And by the way, this is an experimental thing to do. They should, you know, just tips to help you. That's better. Okay, right. He's popped his. He's just finishing off his circle, so I'm going to show you what I'd like to do next. So you've got your other guideline down there at the bottom. Now what you're going to do is you're just going to draw. You're just going to pop in your chin. Now everybody has got different types of chins. Okay, some people have got 3 chins. Some people have got 2 chins. Most people, yeah. Most people have only got 1 chin, the lucky people, but some people have got, you know, a bit of jowling going on, you know, they're not looking quite as young as they used to. So look, first of all, in the mirror at the shape of your chin. Is it wide? If you've got a wide jaw, have you got a really, really pointy chin? So look at the shape. So now what you're going to do is from almost the widest part of your circle, you're just going to draw. Again, using your pencil really loosely. Lots of little lines there should be going on here. And remember, just watch what I'm doing just now. Don't go away and do it until I finish talking, because Alex has still got to catch her pen away. So you're just popping on from the widest part of your circle, hitting that bottom mark that you put, and then hopping it back up. And remember, don't use a solid line. If you look at that closely, there's loads of lines. There's also lots of mistakes. Mistakes are okay. You can rub them out, and you're going to cover them up with all the shading and the toning and everything else later on. Okay, Mr. Perfectionist, have you got your circle done? If you've been joining us in the past, you will know that Harris and I are the erratic pair in the Cochrane family. Harris is at the door just now. What is it? What? No, you can't have a snack just now. You need to wait 10 minutes. Harris and Mummy are... Could you get your chin down quickly, please? Harris and me are the erratic pair in the family. Alex is the perfectionist. Dad's quite a perfectionist as well. It's the engineering engineer and Joe. And Alex seems to be following that suit. Would you get your chin down? Everybody's waiting. There. Remember to hit that bottom line. Honestly, such a dick. I can't say if you're a dick or a perfectionist, actually. Lockdown's changing our relationship. Look at this. Look at the shape of that. Isn't that wonderful? Well done. Right, keep going. Everybody's waiting. Right, while we're waiting on Alex, what I want you to now do is this line here, you're going to rub that out. You're going to get rid of it. So hopefully you've drawn it so lightly that it rubs out nice and easily. Hopefully you've not dented the paper. Hopefully it's not all smudging now. Hopefully it's just rubbing away lightly because you didn't do that too dark. Okay, so you should have something like this in front of you right now. Right, next up, let's talk maths. We are going to look at the symmetry of our face. So if you look straight on at your mirror, you'll notice that your face is symmetrical. Well, it should be symmetrical. No. Some people might not be symmetrical anyway. Most people are. Not your face, not your hair. Your hair isn't your face. Okay, so what we're going to do just to help us, and again, this is as light as you can go, you're just going to put a guideline that runs from the top of the head in the middle to the bottom of the chin. So just I'm going to show you first of all what I do. Now, to make life easier today, we're just going to draw our face straight on. Okay, just straight on. But obviously, if your head changes, your oval shape on the position of the paper, will change, and also your line of symmetry will change. Okay, but we're going to look at our faces straight on. So what I'm going to do is, from the middle of the head, really lightly, just almost tickling the page, I'm drawing a straight line. That just helps us keep everything symmetrical. Helps us with our measurements. And it's so light that only I can see it. You can see it at home because I've done it quite dark. But it's just to show you. So you're just going to put a line now that runs down the middle. That's so you know, well, if that eye is, say, 3 centimetres from that side, the other eye needs to be 3 centimetres from that side. It just helps with your placing. Right, so that's our eye done, our symmetry line done. Next up, what we're going to do is we are going to look at where we are going to position our eyes. Now, the main problem I see when I'm doing portraits is the positioning of the features. Okay, so take a couple of seconds right now, look in the mirror. I'm going to take my glasses off for this. They just get in the way. So we're looking in the mirror. And what I want you to do first of all is look at where your eyes are positioned on your face. Would you say, if we were to split your face in half across the way, would you say your eyes are in the top half, the bottom half, or are they right smack bang in the middle of your head?
If I do it like this.
You don't need to have your hair like that, just look in the mirror. Where are your eyes? Where are your eyes? In your head, not on your face. Where are they on your head? Don't forget about the top of your head.
Just above the middle. Just
above the middle. Right, we're going to do a bit of measuring. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I would like to do first, and then I want you to go and do it. You're going to take your thumb. You're not going to stick it in your eye. You're going to place it just in the eye socket of your eye. And then if you can, you're going to stretch your forefinger right up to the top of your head. That's going to be your measurement. You're then going to take your hand away. Now, when you take your hand away, do not let it get bigger if you can, or don't let it get smaller. It's really important you do that. Try and lock it in place. You can take that away, and then I want you to move your hand so that your finger ends up in the corner of your eye. And be honest with me, where does your thumb end up? So I'm putting my thumb in my eye, and putting my finger right up to the top of my head, not where my hairline is, right up to the top of my head. I'm taking it away now, and it's ended up right on my chin. Why are you measuring across the way? Look, this. You're not measuring your eye. I want you to measure where your eyes are by doing that. Okay, so your eyes go halfway in that oval. Halfway. Now often I tell the boys and girls to go and draw a line halfway, and it's ridiculous where they think halfway on the oval is. So this is when your measuring comes into play. So have a look at it. Where you actually, if you want a little tip, where your chin, where the curved line of your chin has bumped into the circle, that normally is roughly about halfway. So now what you're going to do is you're just going to put a line across your head, but before you relax and think, yes, that's it done, check it is halfway. So do that thing. You don't need rulers for this. Thumb and finger at the top, take it away. Is it halfway? If it's not, move it. So that's where your eyes will rest. Now, I'm trying to think of the last time I did portraits. It was with Primary 5. Primary 5 spent a lot of time putting these guidelines in, and we spent a lot of time talking about it. Then they went away and put their features on, and it was quite remarkable. That line existed, yet we still drew our eyes away up here, or we drew them away down there, or we drew them just slightly above. So that's the line where the eye should rest. So the eye actually, that line should go right through the middle of your eye, so right through your pupil. So that's where the middle of your eye is, it doesn't go below or above it. It was quite remarkable. If you put them too high, what happens is you end up with a really, really long face and your big chin. If you put them too low, you end up with a massive skull and you look like an alien. Okay, so that's what ends up happening. So make sure you use that middle line for your eyes. Right, we're not finished with our guidelines yet. There ends up being a bit of a rule here, and it's about the halfway line. Okay, so halfway for eyes. The space that's left, so you'll notice looking in your mirror again, so go back into that mirror, that in between your eyes, there's your nose, which is cartilage. Okay, it comes out from the face, it's not a bone. And actually, it's just to get it right, you just really need to look at the shading of it. So you're looking at your nose, which runs right in the middle of your eyes, and I'm just going to lift my glasses up again. It also becomes part of the brow bone.
What's that?
Your brow bone's where your eyebrows grow from. And it shades your eyes. Okay, so it protects your eyes. So your nose becomes part of your brow bone. So we know that that all joins on. Often when people are drawing noses, they just sort of stick them on like Mr. Potato Head. They forget that actually it forms part of this brow bone here. It joins on. It's all cartilage, it's all joined together. So it's just really about the shading. So it shouldn't just be stuck on in the middle of your face. So we know that it grows from the eyebrows, which go around the eye. So we know roughly where it starts, but what we need to know is where it stops. So in the space that we've got left, in that space that's left, so I'm going to put my finger now at my eye socket. I'm going to bring my thumb all the way down to the bottom of my nose. I'm going to take it away, and I'm going to place it down here. So I have now realised that actually my nose is actually finishes halfway in the space that's left. Okay, so that's the proportion of your nose. Often people say, I've got a really, really big nose. No, you don't. Your nose is perfectly in proportion to your face. It's just maybe that you've got a long face. Okay? Right, so the space that's left now, I'm just going to measure. It gets easier because the space is shorter. Oh, that's your pencil, sorry, darling. In the space that's left. Where did this come from then? In the space that's left, I'm just going to put in another guideline that's halfway across there. I'm just going to check that's measured right. It doesn't look quite right. No, it needs to go off a little bit.
Is that where your nose
That's where my nose will go. If it helps you, if you think you're going to forget, you did do Mary. Yes, Lily, you did do Mary Queen of Scots in Primary 5. So if it helps you, put even the word there lightly, so because you might forget, you might be quite forgetful, and you might forget. So eyes, nose, right, and then the space that's left. This will not surprise you. The last feature of your face is your mouth. Mine's permanently open. So you've got this space left. Where does your mouth go in here? You're not going to be surprised to know this. Halfway. So you're now going to put in another light line. Not too heavy, really, really light line. So holding that pencil really lightly. So you should end up with this after step 1. Okay? Very analytical looking, very correct looking, but very important. Not very creative, very technical way of doing portraits. Once you get the hang of it, you can chuck all that to the side and just go for it. But if you're just starting out doing portraits, this is all really important. Right, so how Alex has done, it doesn't want me to show anyone anymore his work, so I'm not going to show you his, what he's done. He's done a great job. Well, he's proud of it, so he's actually letting me see. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Right, so we have got all of that. So now, fun and games, fun and games, fun and games. We are now going to start adding on our positions. Now, this is when preference comes in, and this is when your personality comes in, and this is when your choice comes in. People start placing their features in different order, and I never really know what the right order to do it in is. I hate doing noses, so I always start with the nose because it gets it out of the way. Plus, I think the nose is quite important because it builds the whole face. Okay?
I like the eyes because it's at the top.
You like doing the eyes because it's at the top, but I find it hard because if I don't have my brow bone in place and my nose in place, I don't really know where my eyes go. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm actually just going to go straight in with the nose. Now, doing noses are really, really hard. But forget that they're a nose for a second. Look at the shape of your nose. Does your nose remind you of anything? Shape-wise, a 3D shape. Does it remind you of anything as a 3D shape, your nose?
Cone.
A cone? Okay, yeah, that works. That works for me.
Yeah, definitely a cone.
A cone.
It's a cone.
Yeah, I'm thinking about all this bit as well, though. See, it reminds a triangle. It reminds me a bit more like, yeah, like a pyramid shape, like a triangular prism. So that's the way that I would like you to think of it. Don't think of it as a nose anymore. Look at the shape of it. So I'm just going to show you how I would lightly put out where my nose goes. So I'm looking at it just now. So basically, it's a bit hard because I've got my glasses on today, so I'm just going to lift them up. So basically what I'm going to do is, again, using my pencil really lightly, I'm just going to look at the width of my nose and I'm just going to draw a shape like this that comes down. Okay?
I can't remember what was wrong. Was that nose?
That's the bottom of your nose, yes. So your lines will come in between your eyes and your nose. No, it's not fat. Okay. So you're going for that. Then once you've done that, you're just going to put in the curved shape for the nostril. Keep looking in that mirror. You're going to put in that curved shape for the nostril at the bottom. And then you can add in the second part of the nostril. Okay? Now these look like very, very dark lines at the minute. That eventually will become shading, so please don't worry about that. Because as we can all see, our nose... Oops. I can't believe Harris has come back to us for a snack.
You did say 10 minutes, it's only been 10 minutes.
No, it's not, it's gone into the living room. Okay. So we now know that these two lines coming down the middle, that'll all just get shaded in. Okay? So that's why I always start with the nose, just because I think it helps place things round. Because next up, what I know now happens is, as I just said, it becomes part of my brow bone. So I'm just going to bring that up and around to form my eyebrow. To form that brow bone.
That's easy.
That was easy. Okay? The brow bone's really important because it's what sets your eyes. And because you've got your guideline in the middle, you can just double check that's symmetrical. So I've just now made my brow bone there. Not my eyebrow yet, just the bone. That's the socket, the eye socket. So when we become skeletons, this would actually all come off. This is all just cartilage, it all just wastes away. And these would become hollow. And actually think about the skeleton for a second, because the eyes of the skeleton are hollow. That's how far back your eyes are set. So there's a lot of shading around your eyes. People don't realise it. Okay, these aren't bags, this is actually shading. Right, so we've got our brow bone in now. Well done, Alex, that's looking fantastic. So now we know that we can place our eyes. Now, little tip for you. The placement of the eyes is really important. Across your face, there's 5 eye widths. Oh my goodness, that makes no sense, Mrs. C. So that means if you divide this up into 5, I'll do that again for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 eye widths. So think about that for a second. So the space between your eyes would become 1. the space of your eye would become another. So I'm just going to show you those little marks that I've made. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the space between your eyes should be the same width as your eye. Mind blowing, mind blowing. It's more maths. Who would believe it? Who would believe it? So I'm going to show you that again, just in better focus. The space between your eyes is the same width of your eye. And look at that. Okay? So hopefully that will help you avoid having your eyes too wide apart or too close together. So just put some little dots now on that eye line, just like I've done, so that you know the placement of your eyes. And then we'll talk about the shape of the eyes in a minute, because oh my goodness, this is another thing that we are always awful at doing. Right, have you put those marks in? Split that line up into 5. So the space of your eye is also the space at the side of your eye and the space in between your eyes.
1, 2, 3,
4, 5.
5.
It's not really 5 though, is that? That was like 6. Like Mrs. Hodgkinson needs to work on his measuring skills again. No, just split your line up into 5.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Right, the shape of your eye. The shape of your eye. Look for a few seconds in the mirror for me at your eye. Your actual eye. And tell me your iris, the coloured part of your eyes. I've got a really mucky kind of grey colour. Alex has got the most beautiful blue eyes. So look at there, you're welcome. The coloured part of your eye. Can you see white above or below it when you're naturally looking in the mirror? I can't. Yet when people draw their portraits, there's always a big ring of white underneath it. Also, can you see the top of your iris when your eye is naturally looking in the mirror?
No.
No, it's cut off by your eyelid.
Not anymore.
That's because you're not sitting naturally anymore in the mirror, you're doing that. Okay, so I want you to think about that when it comes to drawing your eyes. And you know the spacing of your eyes. So on the middle of that line, all I want you to do right now for me, because this helps get everything placed, is just draw 2 circles in the middle of those spaces. They need to be the same size. Oh, that one's gone slightly too wide. This is going to be your iris. They need to be the same size, okay? And that line goes right through them. Inside that, you're going to put your pupil, which everybody has. Everybody has a pupil. It's actually just a hollow space.
No, not everyone has.
Nobody. Who doesn't have a pupil?
Everyone.
No, you need to argue with me. And it's starting to look like a bit like a robot. So we've got that, okay? Good job. You're trying to do 1 circle again. Sketching. Okay, so that's your iris and your pupil taken care of. Next up, what I want you to do is I want you to cut it off with your top eyelid, which remember you've put your 2 marks there. You put your 2 marks there, so you should know where that goes, but make sure your eyelid actually cuts off the top part of that. And then your bottom eyelid runs along the bottom of that. Okay? Don't forget your tear duct. It's another thing, people forget that little tear duct where I was making you stick your finger in earlier. Okay. Already I can see that I've made one eyelid slightly bigger than the other, so I'm just going to fix that. Get my beloved rubber out. Okay. So that should help you with eyes. That line runs right through the middle and then comes in. Above the eye now, I just want you to have a look at your eyelid, the bit that closes. So you'll have a line that runs above that.
This eye's definitely better than the other one.
Yeah, so fix it. And you've probably got a few creases that go around that as well. Okay, eyelashes. Often when people do eyelashes, they have the most beautiful eyelashes that come all the way up to the eyebrows. Have a look at the way that they actually tail out. You shouldn't be able to count every single eyelash that you've got. So have a look at the way the eyelashes are coming out from the eyelid. And just strengthen the line if you want. Okay? And you've probably got some eyelashes coming at the bottom as well that you can place in. At this point, you might even want to shade in your iris a bit. Don't do it too dark. Just don't want it to stand out. Okay, so you've got your eyes there. How you getting on? That's looking brilliant. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to start adding in some shading from your nose around that, and you can start to put in your eyebrow as well, which lies across that brow bone. Okay, so it's really starting to come together now. Okay, next up, oh, I need to go back and fix my nose actually, because I haven't actually put my nostrils in, the curves that go around that nostril. Get that shading in there as well. Okay, that's much better. Right, I'm just going to let Alex give him a few minutes to finish off his eyes. Next up, we've got our mouth. Now, you've put your line where you want your mouth to go. Most of you have. If you haven't, do that now. And what I want you to remember is your mouth comes in two parts. It's not a line. There's two lips to it. Look at the shape of the lip. The bottom lip has just got a nice curve to it. The top lip has got what they call the bow of the lip. The bow of the lip. And if you look at the bow of the lip, where it actually goes down, there's actually a crevice there that goes all the way up to your nose. This crevice. So that'll help you as well. So coming down from your mouth, your nose, sorry, have a little crevice. Just two little lines like that. Okay? Now that line, don't forget, that line is actually where the middle of your mouth is. So what you should have, use that line actually to help you. Okay, so change the shape of it a little bit. And there's also a rule, I might be getting too technical here, there's also a rule of looking at the position of your mouth. Your mouth normally comes as wide as your eyes. No, they're lovely, but you've not put your eyelids on, that's why. Okay, so there's a rule that coming down from your eye, there'll be two lines, like that. And that's how you know how far out to take your mouth. This looks absolutely nothing like me, by the way, but it's quite a nice face. Okay, so we've got our top lip there. So it came down, the lines came down from the eyes. And then I'm going to put my bottom lip on as well. Now my bottom lip is a little bit thicker actually than my top lip. That fly, we've got a fly in here today and it's driving us absolutely nuts, isn't it? Okay, so then you can just put that bottom lip on there. So look at the shape of your bottom lip. I've got a few age lines that come down my face. Not everyone will have that. I do. And I've also got I've got almost like a little dimple on my chin there as well. Okay, so that's us. Pretty much placed all of the features.
No.
No, you've just got your mouth to do. So remember, bring your favourite and your eyebrows. That'll take 2 seconds to do. Right, the last feature of the face that people always forget are the ears. Now I'm really lucky because my hair covers up my ears.
Yes, being a boy sucks.
But he's a boy, and some people have got short hair. And actually, just because of the lesson today, I'll tuck my hair behind my ear. Okay, so your ear. This is your second last feature that I want you to think about. Your ear. If you follow, sometimes when people put ears on, they have them completely sticking out from the face. If you follow the bottom of your ear around your face, does it bump into anything? The bottom of your ear. If you were to draw a line around it, does it bump into anything? It should bump into your nose. So where your line for your nose is, that's where the bottom of your ear will sit. And the top of your ear comes into your eyes. No, that's fine. So the top of your ear, so you've got those lines already in place. So look at the ear that you can see. Look at the shape of your ear that you can see. And bring it down. Oh, I'm just going to apologise now. Our window cleaner's here. I was like, what's that? The window cleaner. He's going to wonder what on earth we're doing as well. So look at the way that the shape of the ear goes. You won't be able to see all the parts of the ear actually. You'll be able to see the hollow part, maybe some earrings in there. But that's the position of your ear there. So it runs in between the eye line and the bottom of the nose line. Okay. And that's our second last feature. I'm only going to do one ear because I can only see one ear, but gentlemen, you'll probably want to put in two. Right, second last feature that we need to think about is this is looking okay, but it's looking, there's no hair for the start, so we're going to talk about hair in a second. Also going to talk about the neck, the neck that's totally missing. Now, often when I see people do portraits, they then do this. Where they have the neck coming out of the chin. So have a look at your neck. Where does your neck attach to your head? Mine attaches to the back of my ear. But because of perspective, because it's further away from the head, what I'm beginning to notice is actually, if I was to draw a line, it actually bumps into the outside edge of the ears and the eyes. Okay, so that space that's between your ear and your eye, that's where I would love it if you could just put your neckline. Now you don't need to draw the whole neck. Just put in that line. I'm going to have to get rid of those mistake lines now. That's going to really annoy me. So your neck will go into the space that's between your eyes and your ears. Okay. Right, well, Alex is finishing off that. I just want to speak to you a little bit about hair. You will never manage to draw every single hair on your head. That is impossible. And I often see people try to do that. So at this point, what I want you to do is I just want you to look at the outside shape of your hair. Where does your hair fall on your face? Okay, mine comes, it's got like a bit of a cowlick. It doesn't, oh, by the way, the hair also isn't stuck on top of your head. It's actually part of your head. So you'll have a big, massive space right now, but that's still, that's the top of your head. Your hair shouldn't, unless you've got a spiky do, your hair shouldn't come off that. Okay, so have a look at where your hair falls. My hair falls down. I should probably put my glasses in actually, shouldn't I? My hair falls down and covers up part of my face. Okay, so it comes down and covers up part of my face. It then comes down, it doesn't quite hit my shoulders, then comes down. I'm just almost putting in a few lines to give that hint that there's hair there without actually drawing the hair. So I'm just putting in a few lines. I'm remembering that's part of my head. This is when I'm starting to run out of space on the paper. But I'm not going to panic about that because I remember what Mrs. C said at the very beginning. It's a portrait you're drawing today. It's not accessories. So I'm just looking at the way that my hair forms part of my face. It comes down. It's also not in a centre pattern today, which is what I've managed to put it in. So I need to bring it over, it's in line with that eye. That's lovely, Alex. Mr. I can't do portraits. That's fantastic.
No, I can't do them.
You can't? Or you can now?
I can't.
Oh, you've done a fantastic job. Okay, so look at the way that that's coming down now on the side. I've got my parting. Comes up and over. And then I've got another parting that comes to the left there. I'm not going to bother today shading all this in, by the way. We can talk about that at another time. I just want you, after you've finished doing your pencil drawing, just to have a look at where all the darks we spoke about at the beginning, where looking at your face, where it's dark and where it's light. Maybe try and get an attempt at shading in today. Okay, and it's coming actually into my chin there as well, covering up a lot of my chin, into my jaw. But as I said, you're not going to be able to draw every single hair on your head, so don't even try and do that. Just try and get an attempt to show that there's hair there, that you're not a bald person. Okay. I guess I should probably put my glasses on, but I'll maybe do that once you stop watching, because that's an additional extra. Right, so what you're going to do next for me is you're just going to have a quick look at shading, get some shading in. Have you got any beauty marks, freckles that you want to get in to make your picture a bit more personable to you? And yeah, hopefully all of those hints and tips about proportion, positioning, the shape of your eyes, I really, really hope that's helped you today to try and get a bit more of an accurate portrait done. Once you get the real hang of this, you can really, really start looking at how to make it look a bit more like you. But at the minute, I think that should help you a little bit. It doesn't look anything like me, to be fair, but we're getting there. Okay, probably need to put a few more wrinkles in. Right, folks, I've got the window cleaner needing paid. And I've got a husband back with a child from a walk who's it's lasted 50 minutes. It normally lasts 50 minutes, doesn't it? I'm just looking at Alex's before I leave. I want him to go back and look at the shape of his mouth. He's done it like a banana. Look at the shape of that top lip, and remember it comes from your nose, so don't forget that. So really, really go away now, focus, concentrate, and don't forget to send me your finished examples. I would love to see what they look like. Spread the word as well. This did not have to be a tricky one today. You just have to use pencils if you want, or if you want to get ultra fancy. One thing that I love to do now is go away, and I'm going to go and do this now. White works great for getting the whites to make everything lighter, and then you could go for a middle tone as well, or you could go really, really, really dark, or you could start to add some colour, but colour's really, really tricky in a portrait. I really, really would recommend just doing a pencil drawing. Right, I'm going to pop off now, and I don't know why I said it like that now. I'm going to pop off now, and I will see you when you post your pictures. Thank you for joining us. Lots and lots of love to you and your families, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.